business where hobby meets hustle. Listen up.
Oh, here we go.
Shouts out Corey and Tim. Man, who run this? Surely it's them. Yeah.
We back.
We're back. It's good to be back. Slab business.
No, redo that.
Oh, Jesus. Keep this part too. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do your speech. Go ahead.
No. Slab it. No. What did you said? I like the first one you said.
You said it.
Yeah, but you said it what I said.
Corey, just say we're back. Slab business is back.
Yes, that's it.
And I say it's good to be back.
Yeah. All right.
Keep that part.
Slab business is back.
Yep. Good to be back.
Yeah. And speaking of back, we're back in Dallas.
You didn't even sip.
I know. I was going to drink it, but I didn't.
Yeah, no, go ahead, sip that. I don't know if you've sipped that loud, but
why not? It's all about getting it through the teeth. Anyway, we're back in Dallas, our OG stomping grounds. Probably the biggest repetitive show, meaning multiple times a year that the hobby offers, and boy, is it grown. I mean,
yeah. I'm always cautious about saying it's the best show, just because there's so many good shows. But I will always refer to Dallas as the most necessary, the most important of the card shows, because 6 times a year, Dallas is relatively easy to get to for everybody, East, West Coast. Yeah, love the Dallas card show, and where we both started, I believe, right?
Yeah. After the awkward phone call, after a Facebook message where you were like, "Hello, sir. I see you have a cool product, and I would really like to show you mine, but I can't send you a picture, so I'm going to drive down." And I said, "Come to the Dallas show," right? That was a place.
Yep.
We were in the front hallway, which is now like corporate row.
Like the main spot.
Right.
It's one of the main spots.
It's where every main sponsor wants to be. You got Arena Club. I think I saw SGC for the first time. Yep. They can't be doing on-site
Zion
grading.
Cases is in that main hallway coming out from the...
Speaking of, our trusty friends at Zion Cases,
absolutely.
will show off that later.
Great people, great product.
I want to see, you're going to have no idea how that lock works.
Dude, I already feel like not one card will ever be stolen ever again. Do you see that lock?
Or ever be seen by you.
Yeah, I'll never get
like
that
you'll
lock
lock yourself
open.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be calling Clint.
Yeah.
Like 1 a.m.
Hey,
man, I just want to see my PSA 5 John Morant.
Yeah, and he's gonna cuss you out. Or is he?
I'm not worried about it. My boy.
No, but so back to the show. I'm trying to think. So I wasn't at the last one. The one before that was good, and the attendance always seems very good. The vibe always seems good.
Yep.
What I did notice, like Heritage taking that hallway, PSA is here doing submissions. They have a setup that's better than your
whole room,
than your house. Well, your old house.
Yep.
Speaking of old house, Tim has moved from
Providence, Rhode Island,
to
let's call it Nashville, but it's really Hendersonville. I'll put my
nobody cares.
I'll put my address on the bottom. Scrolling.
Yeah, no,
if you guys want to come visit.
Fine. Nobody's going to be like, "Oh, he's from Hendersonville."
That's a good point. I got a Lakeview. Thank you.
And you have what in your backyard that I can't. I don't know what I hear more about, the family that lives in his backyard or what's around his neck, but we'll get to that too.
Bro, I am coming from the middle of the city. Then I get to my new place. It's about, I'd say 7 a.m. I walk out, 16 deer. A family of 16 deer living in my backyard.
How do you know they're family?
They hang around together.
That doesn't mean they're family. They could just be a gang.
Imagine if it's a gang of deer.
Dude.
Now I'm going to have to...
Okay. A gang of dare?
A gang of deer. A
Deer?
gang of deer.
No.
No, I sound Australian, mate.
Yeah. No. All right. Deer, dare.
Deer. So here's what would happen. You'd come visit me in Hendersonville, and I'd say, I dare you to go walk up to that deer right now and hand him this letter that starts off, dare. Nice antlers, bro.
Yeah, but okay, so how many antlered deer do you have?
1. It just started growing. They're like
so you don't even have massive. You don't even have
springtime,
the
and I don't know
deer.
how it works, but it's springtime. I think they.
So what does that mean? You gotta take them out once they get antlers?
No. So I tried. The closest I got so far was about 10 feet from one. It bucked at me and did that little. I don't even know what you call it, but
where they show their grill.
Yeah, dude.
Do them and horses have some straight teeth?
Nah, that's a scary thing when they buck at you and they clap that one. Forget about it.
Yeah, but why are you even walking up to them? Because you're just so like from the city. You're like, oh, hey,
Content.
dear. You weren't filming.
I'm not that good at content yet.
Yeah,
This is why we're here at this
we're
beautiful
getting
setup.
here. Yeah, right. So back to the Dallas show. Notable takeaways are all the grading companies are showing up. All the big companies are showing up. All the OGs are still there. Some of them have been moved around, like the guy that used to be where Heritage is, who Jeremy Allen has seemingly booted out. And
I love that guy, too.
What a dope setup, though.
Yep.
Jeremy Allen, shout out. I think they have, like, I don't even know how much money of cool, but it's like cool stuff. Like I saw Off-White Nikes in like a case.
The Tupac graded album?
Yeah, Tupac.
You saw that?
The album grading companies here. You saw them?
Awesome. Love that dude.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting his name at the moment, but I've talked to him. I was just talking to him at the Collecticon. Awesome guy.
So that kind of bodes to like all we hear on Instagram is blah, blah, blah. The car prices are down. The hobby's in the trash. Everyone is, the sky's falling. The reality for me and you is the complete opposite.
Complete opposite.
Like, now I know we don't necessarily live in that world, and there are people that are losing money, and there are, some situations that, are market corrections, whatever, are stuff people shouldn't have been buying.
Which we knew that was going to happen anyways.
Right.
Those prices from 2020 are not going to happen early 2021. We've already knew that. I think people are, we've talked to enough people we understand that the big guys are willing to lose a little bit to gain capital to buy their next card that they think they can get a deal on. So it's not.
Yeah. And
then the other thing, too, I always look at when you talk about card prices, you know how many people are flying into Dallas for these shows? You're spending at least, if you're staying all 3 or 4 days.
Right. And you're not flying Spirit.
If you're eating, if you're not flying Spirit like I do, thank you, you're spending money to get to the show.
Right. And
so,
you've got to make that at least back.
You've got to make it back. And these guys keep showing up. I've not seen. I keep seeing
if
all the
If it was
same guys.
a net loss like that, honestly for me in the in my business, and it is kind of been the pitfall of it, is where I don't have that avenue to make all the money back. It was just such an expense, and I had to rely on hopefully people coming after the fact to come to the website to buy a display, because the first Dallas show, I'm down here with I rented a car and drove from Baltimore with a truck full of displays and a printer. I was doing like custom label printing. The printer didn't
I remember
work.
those days.
And then people were like, "Oh man, that's so sweet. Let me buy one." "Oh, can you just ship it back to me?" And I'm like, "Okay." Well, then I have to walk to Home Depot, get shipping boxes. But again, I'm still here, still trying to figure it out. Whatever it is, like there's places in this hobby where people can live and make and I think that's kind of what's happening. The dust is settling, right? And you're seeing who's still around, who's still making money. Sky's not falling. Fanatics is, making moves. They just did the thing with, I'll let you pronounce his name.
Who?
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama. Just call him Wemby. It's easier.
Well,
Victor.
I'm not going to call him.
I'm close enough. I call him Victor.
Yeah, okay. And
his name is Victor, though, but it's Victor. But yeah, Wemby.
Wait, Victor, like, how's it spelled? Like Victor?
How do you spell Victor?
Right, so why'd you say Victor?
Because I'm trying to pronounce it not in a Rhode Island accent.
Nobody goes, "Hey, Victor."
First of all, you don't
in
know
no
any
accent.
You don't know anyone to even say that no one says it.
I have a friend named Victor.
Oh.
I lied. I don't have a friend named Victor.
But
I would never call him Victor.
I actually have a friend we call him Vic. But here's the point. Wembanyama, I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong anyways.
So we saw the picture of him and Ruben with the card. Did you see that guy's hands?
Bro, do you see him at his hip?
If I'm Michael Rubin,
I stand in the background, right? So I look taller?
Yep. Uh-huh.
I'd be back. I'll take that picture.
It would be I'd be 30 feet back, so I look the same height.
Speaking of, okay, you brought it up, so I gotta ask your opinion. So I'll give you my opinion off rip so that you understand where I'm coming from. The number one card that he signed, right? That says first card ever signed. It's not even number 1 of 99. It was I think it was like in the 80s of 99. So my question is, I'm sure they're gonna hear something about because that's going to be the chase, right? But is it the chase, or is the 1 of 99 the chase? Is the 99 of that?
No,
My
because
thing
it's not
is,
signed in order.
it's not signed in order, but will they make it that after? I'm sure they've heard, oh, that's cool, but it's not the gold vinyl, right? It's not.
Right, there's
not
not
a
a
one
one
of
of
one.
one. Right, but it's signed 1 of 1, and you have to imagine. So I do have a little bit of info, or kind of not insider, but like just knowledge of this in doing a recent project for a company getting cards signed,
Right.
where we built these custom trays to help facilitate the signing, because that's like that's one of their biggest bottlenecks, right?
Right.
So it's a tray essentially that holds cards in each one. The cards don't move at all. The person can just sign. There's no way that whoever's filling that tray is caring if they're putting them in order. Like,
All right, but but as we know, right, in 2020 especially, I didn't hear much of it before 2020, but as you know, all of a sudden it's bookends, it's jersey number, which is I've always loved. It's all these different aspects of
what about one-off jersey number?
That's
Means nothing.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Oh, it's just one of the that literally means not one thing.
Dude, that couldn't mean less.
Right. And so with him, I wonder if the hobby itself causes that one card to be the card. But at the end of the day, if it's not his gold vinyl, what is the most, like, what, in your opinion, is that the most important card in the set? Is his first auto, or does that matter? Is his second auto worth less than the first one? That's what I
think that's what Fanatics can do to this hobby.
Yeah.
Fanatics can make that the most important card, which is what everybody is kind of overlooking in what Fanatics can do. They have the ability to not only document and market,
right,
because that's what no companies have done before.
Correct.
They're marketing that this is the chase. This is the number one card with a picture on Instagram of the owner of Fanatics and the next phenom holding the card, probably a picture to follow that showed him signing it. This is my first card I ever signed. So that, to me, that would interest anybody. Collector, non-collector, whatever. Like basketball fan.
Right.
Like that's showing you that's number one card.
But I can only speak from experience on this. The most important card that I've signed is every card that I've signed.
Here we go. So, actually, I'm surprised. What's that like? Let's cheers, because that was
cheers.
good.
That was like, what,
Dude,
5 minutes in? I didn't mention that I have a card.
You didn't mention it. This guy hasn't gone.
Even though I'm wearing it around my neck?
Yeah. But, yeah, for everybody who can't see it, I'm sure you can, because we got nice, dope cameras. Tim's card came out. I would just like to point out that his Baird got a little mix.
Wait. Do not make fun of me ever again about my speech. You just said, what did you just say?
I was trying to be you. Baird.
Yeah, but that's not even close, I don't think.
Beard's weird.
Beard.
That was pretty close. Baird. No, that was
right?
bad. Yeah,
right, totally different. But yeah, and I also noticed, just speaking of beards, they photoshopped my beard. But let's get back to the real story of Wembyana. So what is that card worth, you think? There's no bounty on it yet. The Drew Jones, and there's a little misnomer. So the David Adams bounty on the Drew Jones, for example, it's $1 million bounty. It's $250,000 up front, but then
it's kind of like
if they make the Hall of Fame,
right?
What is Wemby's? Is it $1 million card?
But is that even his? Yes, it's his first card he signed, but really, does that mean anything? Because it's a technically college card. So, like, was Zion's first card in college in Duke, like, sought after? No. So, does Fanatics have the power to literally flip the script on on what the hobby is known?
They already have. They did Bowman U, and they got the licenses that was needed. So here's the thing: that the difference between the Wemby, for example, is it's not actually his college card. It's actually his pro team debut. He's not in college. He plays for a pro team, which is still different, right? Because the Luka and the Jokic stickers are not considered like they're rookies.
Nobody cares.
Right, no one cares. But now Fanatics is backing it.
Right.
So that's where it gets into. So now what happens next? Does Wemby inscribe any other card? Does he pan out?
You know what this does do? It makes every athlete go, I want to put something dope. Did you see the one guy who signed it eBay 1 of 1?
Yeah. I did see that, and I think that was
Like, that's a card I would chase.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. That's a card I would chase. I would chase, like, anything that, like, so, again, here's Fanatics going, we see what the hobby is. We love what the hobby is. We want to show the world what the hobby is by marketing.
Yeah.
Simple marketing, genuine as it comes. There isn't any, like, trickery going on. They're just showing the world what the hobby is. And that's, like, that to me has me so bullish on it because, like, yes, they can, some people look at it as they're coming in and they're owning every part of the space, and it's scary for card shop owners, or they're going to say they don't need them anymore. Everything I've seen isn't, I don't know, could change. But the stuff they're doing is pointing, it shows me that they know the hobby, like, from a top level, and they get what makes people excited, and they're going to market that, which has not been done.
So here's my thing that I'm thinking about at the moment. If the collectors get it, right? Like, we get Wemby holding up, it's his first card. The question is, does Wemby get what's going on? Therefore, if Fanatics can, because I don't know if you saw this, Tom Brady, Travis Scott, you just brought him, right? If they can make the athletes understand what type of marketing can be done just in the card world to get them extra stuff, do they take it upon themselves? Because we didn't hear about, I think that guy played for the Kings, right? The guy that wrote eBay 1 of 1. I don't even know his name right now, right? But if you look it up, you can find it easily through Google. My thing is, will the athletes get it? How important to us it is that he wrote that?
Yeah, because honestly, I think a guy like Michael Rubin is somebody who can communicate that to them.
Yeah.
Like
no other person.
Here's a perfect example. Michael Rubin happens to be at the Burbank card shop, doing a site visit, just trying to check out the hobby. There's a girl there who's, like, just
Booker.
buying, who was it?
D Booker.
Yeah, Devin Booker. Buying $5-10 Devin Booker slabs because she loves Devin Booker. This dude picks his phone up and FaceTimes. Do you know how much of a boss you got to be to hit a FaceTime and get an answer when you're, like, I don't think that was like a take 2.
No. He picked up. Because we've seen him do it before in person.
Right.
He was with Daps. He called Harden up.
Yeah.
He called James Harden up. My thing is, though, that is one of, from how I took it is, that is a memory that little girl will forever
cherish. It's also
cherish.
a memory that Booker will never
That's
forget.
what I mean. So that's
because
what I'm saying.
Booker
Does Wemby get it?
respects Rubin. So Booker's like, oh, this is important to Rubin. Rubin's a G when it comes to business, and, like, wants to be in his circle, and they're genuinely seem like they're friends. So, like, I just think that, like, on the highest of levels, and obviously there's going to be some bumps in the road of, like, yeah, they're bringing in people that are, not hobby oriented, and they're business minds, and they're this and they're that, and they just came in because they have a Harvard degree or they have a business degree. But again, they're not the people we need to worry about. We need to worry about the people that are touching the hobby, by the marketers, the guys dealing. I mean, you deal directly. You're doing breaking now, right? Because of your relationships with the guys. Those are hobby guys.
Right. That's another great point. Met a lot of good people all over.
Thank you. Great point.
Oh, okay.
1 for me.
Sure. Yep. Great point, Corey.
0 for you.
Let me make a better point.
You didn't
to
even
your
drink.
Point. What do you mean? Dude, this is my second glass. Ruben, here's a little quick story for you. I messaged someone very big up at Fanatics, and I asked if I could go to the Ruben party. And then when I was told no, I had to pretend that, I actually wasn't talking about that
Yeah,
party.
I
Do
was
you know
just
that?
kidding. I was just kidding. And somebody else that we know very well was at that Ruben party because he was invited.
He's the best, though.
Yeah, and that, dude, again, that's a whole nother level to this. So it was, Daps was at the Ruben party. Yeah. It was, on social media, but I talked to him after the fact. And, like, he's almost weird. It's so weird because he's having, like, a pinch me moment of, like, dude, here's Shaq. Travis Scott's walking by. Jay-Z's coming from over here. Yeah. Like, and he's like, oh, I want to get like anybody would want, like, I need to get a photo with them. I need to get, but like, he had to step back and be like, I got in the same invite they did.
Right.
And why? Because of sports cards, dude.
So
they're elevating the people. They're bringing them along. They're not just like coming in, cannibalizing, doing all like. I just think they do get it.
The good part too is so Ruben has the personality for it too. It's not just the connections. He has the personality. Like I couldn't see I couldn't see Nat Turner, partying like that, right? Like bringing those guys together. I just haven't heard him.
No, he's a quiet guy, but you do see like a Nat Turner posting a video, like holding a slab at the NBA final, or it wasn't an NBA final game. It was some game. Oh, LeBron's record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's holding like a LeBron, like, so he's doing it in Nat's way, which is great. All great for the hobby.
Yeah.
Now, nobody questions if Collectors is good for the hobby.
Right.
People question if Fanatics is good for the hobby. I would say that Collectors is secretly building their own little corner. Okay. Right?
Well, hold on. Let me stop you right there. Talking about building corners. As you know, there's rumors going around that PWCC is up for sale. So what do you...
Or being forced to be sold.
Whatever it is. There's some stuff. Everyone's talking about it right now. It's out there. People know it seems like PWCC is up for sale. So you have companies like Fanatics most likely trying to buy them. You brought up Collectors. Collectors is most likely trying. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these other auction houses might be trying to get on it.
Some who are newer to the space that want to get instant credibility.
So, will the sale of PWCC hurt?
So I'm going to change one word because it's sale, but it's sale /
merger.
Help. No, because PWCC is in an issue where they have some money requirements that they can't meet, whatever the reasons. I'm sure, the market being down actually does hurt them. Like, that's their business. So that makes sense, right? But the fact that there's 4 companies willing to come in and say, I'll take it, shows you. None of these companies are thinking, oh, I'm going to quick flip PWCC. They're thinking 10 years down the road. So, again, and they're doing this in essentially an economic recession, right? So everything we hear in our...
Are they contributing to that, though? By the rumors, people pulling their cards out? Like, we know a few people. People are really questioning, do I get my cards out of there?
PWCC, unfortunately, has nobody to blame for that happening but themselves, because the way it was handled at the top, and it's well documented and known. And this isn't even stuff that we've heard. This is just stuff that's reported everywhere on Instagram of like the top brass not even kind of showing up to a layoff. Look, we all get it. Like, stuff tightens and you need to lay people off. But so you can't, when you create that kind of, and you do the layoff, and then you wonder why somebody's out there bad mouthing, and then, but not even bad mouthing, like just saying what was true. And I don't know what about them having to like float money or get paid back later.
There's a lot of big money.
But again, once you hear a guy who is laid off, not fired, and of one of 30 get laid off and come out and say this is a complete financial disaster, regardless of whether he's 10% true or 100% true. Like, if that was handled a little bit differently, maybe that guy doesn't go out and say that, and maybe people don't yank their cards out. But I don't think that was the catalyst for why they need to be purchased.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, I know we can, right? Because we have a small businesses, right? So we know, but I'm wondering if people can separate, and I don't, you said earlier, right? You changed the word. PWCC needing help? Do people look at that as, well, now the car, that should have no impact on price of cards?
No, but the price of cards impacted.
What secondary market it might impact, right? If people are worried that they're vaulting, or does it affect eBay's vault? Does it now say, oh, you know what? I'd rather just keep it in a safe in my house.
Right. No, because I think if you and here's the thing I want to stress too is don't listen to every Instagram headline, because if you listen to that, you hear
I
PWCC
only listen to Instagram headlines.
Yeah, I know that's your problem. And I only listen to your Instagram headlines. It's like, hey, I'm on a card. Hey, you see my card? Here's my card. I signed it to 75 different people. But
Thank you.
if you hear the headline, PWCC lays off 30 people, and you don't kind of research any more into it, like those people were very tech oriented, kind of like very like, if you see a big company kind of trim fat for whatever reason, downturn in market, they're like, but the result actually.
Well, part of it was automation too.
Right.
Because they have, I don't want to say it wrong, but they have robots essentially that pick from the vault and
They
get things
do?
going. Yeah, bro. It's like Amazon, bro. They have little.
That was pretty good.
I don't even have
That
a
was
pocket there.
that
And
was
usually
a
the
pretty
pocket's
good
on the
sound
left side.
effect.
Yeah, it was weird.
They don't have. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Do the robots have like little soft fingers?
Why?
What if they bend the card?
It's well, first of all, they're not soft because they wouldn't be able to pick up the card. No, dude, it's like you've never seen Amazon. It just,
Dude, if I saw one of those Amazon bots grab
dude,
my card,
why are you getting so worked up? Are you scared of robots, bro? Just tell.
yeah, I'm not a big robot guy. To be
Yo,
quite
listen,
honest.
this is going off the rails,
Yo,
guys.
with matching
Chat
robots,
GPT, if you're listening to this, this
yeah.
is Corey saying it. Do
Right.
not.
Yeah, well, Chat GPT is another thing that's just making people. We're going to be a Wally world, where people are just floating around in a chair, all fat and happy. Well, that sounds actually pretty good.
Do you know I wrote an email to Tops and Chat GPT wrote it for me? I had help from someone, and I honestly was like, I thought I was brilliant, dude. I'm like, first of all, I'm the one that asked Chat GPT to do it, so doesn't that make me the smart one?
Yeah, but I've done it too. It is pretty amazing.
Thank you. You said yes. Hold on, let's click to that.
All right, 1 for you, 5 for me. I don't know why I did that. I think I used to do that in high school.
Yeah, that's the
You
flip
do
cup
like
game.
thing and then you chug, yeah. But so if even I don't know that automation had much to do, but again, does it scare people about vaulting because they're saying it's not a successful business? I don't think that. I honestly think that PWCC got themselves in a spot with their lending arm of the company, which couldn't help it. Dude, that's a no-brainer. Like if you lent on a card and the value of that card is down 70%,
And people just don't pay.
right, and
Back
people
the-
just say
keep the
whatever,
card.
yeah, beat feet and go, like, sell it, do whatever you got to do, and then maybe those cards don't turn over as fast, and then the worst case scenario is you have an avalanche of this, and then you just flood the market with these sales that just bring the comps down, because those cards are in there aren't meant to be sold, and there's a lot of nuance in timing to sell a card.
Right.
Like, you're gonna sell a football card now? No. You're going to sell it when, like,
Preseason. A little bit before preseason. About a month before you start amping up.
or if it's a vet like a Patrick Mahomes, you maybe wait a couple games, let him ball
Right.
out, and then do it. But so I don't know. What is wild to me is, okay, so there's a company. This is like a real market being built, like a real thing being built, because there's a company in distress. There's many companies willing to, quote, bail, buy, take over, bail them out.
Yeah.
And I don't know that any of them have any interest in taking away the name.
So that's the thing that's interesting. So whatever, but Fanatics buys them. It doesn't matter who we say buys them. Let's say PSA buys them. PSA also owns Collectors. I'm sorry. Collectors also owns Golden. So do they take do they keep PWCC brand? Because Ken Golden, from what I understand, and I don't know this to be fact, but I believe it's true, he's under contract. Like when you buy out a company, Ken's the face, right?
Right.
So he's
like
under contract.
Barstool did with Portnoy.
Right. Do they change, or do they keep the brand separate? Do they take PWC and say, you know what, we're just going to vault and call it Golden because there's this negative energy around PWCC, right? That's what I'm looking at.
Well, that's what I was going back to what I said. Like, where everyone's worried about Fanatics being this monopoly taking over every aspect.
Yeah.
Collectors is doing the same thing, and nobody seems to really care. Like, and I don't care. Like, to me.
Well, let me ask you this then. When you say you don't care, as a small business owner, like we both are, do you look at, but we know the insides out and why they're essentially need help.
Dude, small business is for the birds. It's so
Well, call
much
me
work.
a bird then.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, I want to be one of these big
I wasn't
companies.
expecting him just to go, yeah.
One of
that was
these
pretty
big
good.
companies who just, don't run properly, and then, I'll buy you. I can't get bought. I've been having a for sale sign for like months. Not really.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
got
like,
you. I get
oh
it.
man, this would be cool. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of companies in here
Right,
that
but
come in
you're-
with an idea.
You're building it that hopefully one day you either are very successful in the head of it or build it enough to. But my question for you is, do you get nervous on seeing any hobby business essentially failing or needing help? Do you think that it's going to continue? Do you think there's more to come? Because we saw a couple grading companies are no longer around.
R.I.P. Carrot.
R.I.P. Carrot. I wish I remembered his name so we can give him a shout out. That was a great. Here's the problem. It was a great idea.
It was, but
Then he made it.
yes.
And I like that guy. I hope he doesn't see
he's
this
a
'cause-
great. But you could literally.
No, but-
that's a murder weapon.
No, but an elite grading company just went down.
Yeah, but that to me is no. That's not scary. That's just the hobby speaking its truth and how many grading companies can stand.
So it's like the cards going back down the price.
yeah,
It just
it's
is what
fine.
it is.
Like again, I think this is. You got to think about how fast everything rose, and who is PWCC in the beginning? Is a couple
Well, they
of
were-
card collectors who may be a little business savvy who thought, let's sell a bunch of other people's cards and we can save on taxes by putting a vault in this state that doesn't have sales tax.
All right, but here's the thing though. Before last year, they were eBay. PWCC was one of the largest sellers on eBay.
Right.
And then whatever happened. And when they went solo is when they needed the help.
Yeah, but they were very successful and they grew too big.
Dude, they just got wasn't it only just a month or two ago
Look
they
at
got
this guy.
They
Clint.
got, they got that big Clint's the best. Get them fingers right in
Speaking
there.
of Clint, can we take 5 seconds to shout out our sponsor, Zion Cases?
Can I take 10 minutes to try to open up
Yeah.
that lock?
Can
Guys,
we play?
You are
can
never
we,
losing
get the
a card
Jeopardy
again.
music going. Do do do. Have you even opened one of these new ones?
Let me hold it.
Dude, he's got mad cards in there.
Oh, why is this so heavy? What is in there?
How many cards does that hold? Damn. He even said it cool.
Yeah, dude, he's mad cool. No, beautiful case, little carbon fiber. I actually got a little slab strings coming to match it.
So let me see. I want to see the locks. So these locks are brand new to the market, TSA approved. I don't know what the hell that means, but it
does that
sounds
mean?
official. Like that means that TSA won't steal them. What does that mean?
That they won't open it?
It means you can travel with them and it's legal to travel with a lock.
Guys, you
I've been
guys hear that
traveling
beautiful
illegally?
Barry White
Yo,
voice
you know how
in
many
the background?
people have been traveling illegally?
If
Oh,
you
listen.
check it,
I rock out.
Oh, if you check it. Okay.
check it, TSA actually requires you to have a lock that they can get into. It's a government aspect.
Wait, do we have to pay Clint for for him talking right now, or do we still get 100%? Okay.
Yeah.
I got to tell you,
Hey, Clint, great code.
what's it all zeros?
Yeah, all zeros. Real unique.
I rock my Zion
can't get
backpack
in.
all through the airport. But back to PWCC. Yeah, I think
Shouting on
it
the
is what it
fanny
is.
pack guy.
I believe there's going to be some. I mean, we already know there. If the wide range of the hobby doesn't understand yet, PWCC is for sale. They need help. Whether you call it a merger or a sale, it doesn't matter. They need help. That's going to be real interesting to see who comes away with the prize.
Yeah, and if it's collectors, are all these, hobby purists screaming monopoly? No. If it's Fanatics, yes.
yeah.
And it's fair, right? Because Fanatics did come in with a big hammer, and they just said, we're gonna take this over, and we think we can do it better than it's done before. And to me, I don't know that it needed to be done better, but it definitely something needed to be the catalyst to keep this thing going, because the card prices were going so high, and there wasn't anybody in there to say, the only way this balloon doesn't pop and just comes back down to earth
Yeah.
and hovers is to have somebody who's done it before and seen like how markets go.
That's what makes me nervous about Beckett, because it feels like
Oh, Beckett.
they don't take the hint. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, can we talk about the 99559?
Let's talk about the 995 thing. If everyone
Yo,
out there
I was
listening,
a baller for like an hour and a half.
Dude, I have
All my 9.5s went to 10s.
wow, amazing. And I don't know if you walked by the booth after they made it out. The next day, they literally had to like get a sticker
Yep.
and stick it over the 9.5
Yeah.
as a 10 again. It
And
was wild.
the sad thing is, those guys are so nice, and like, I just don't know who's making these decisions. Because to me, the guys I talk to aren't making those decisions,
No.
and they seem like they're just pigs to slaughter, or dare to slaughter, where they're just standing in a line and they just leave them out. Like they say stupid stuff on the internet that they're going to change the grading system in the middle of a show. And let them. They seem like they're not.
Did you ever think? All right, check this out. Did you ever think there would be like a worst marketing campaign?
Worse.
A worser? A
Worser.
more worse?
Worst.
What?
No. Would you ever think there'd be a worse? You said worst.
Oh, you
Worse.
just heard wrong. I don't say anything wrong. But would you think there'd be a worse marketing, like in terms of social media, than what HGA used to do? And now Beckett has literally, I know HGA doesn't grade more cards, but Beckett has dropped to 4th behind the big 4, right?
Yeah.
PSA does about $1 million. CSG is absolutely killing it in the TCG world.
Yep.
SGC is doing amazing partnerships. Today, I went to the Beckett booth
At the Dallas Card Show.
at the Dallas Card Show, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll grade you, but you need to sign this form." So they have a form. 10 times you sign it.
Oh, nice. How many dollar signs did you write?
0.
Well, folks, there goes all the ones with the dollar signs, because that's on video. Look at Show Your Slabs Instagram.
My first autograph I ever signed. I didn't know what to do. I got flustered. There's a kid asking me for an autograph. So I went back to the 90s. I wrote a dollar sign for the S on Slab, and I wrote a dollar sign for the S on Strong. It'll be the most coveted autograph. My first one.
But it won't be graded by Beckett.
Bro, if I was 7'4", that'd be the most important autograph in the history of the world. Get over myself.
If you'd be 7'4", we wouldn't be sitting here comfortably,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
because your knees would be like up here.
Yeah, well,
You need a taller chair.
call me McWemby. I don't care.
So you went and signed. So what? They're gonna that's how they're gonna give you. They're actually gonna grade it, or they're just gonna call it authentic.
No, they're going to grade my autos. Which I don't even. First of all, we don't even know if the graded auto pot is going to be on the slab, because I'm still confused on if it's a 10, they keep the 10 there. But if it's anything less than a 10, they don't even put it.
Again, another like cluster.
But we know someone that got an auto 10 when you check the website, and it's not on the slab.
Yeah.
So it's confusing.
It's confusing, and it just seems like everything they pointed us to was some tech bubble thing where they were going to be a tech company and all this stuff, and like then that didn't work out. I remember the guy who's since been let go, the Canal, telling us he's making the Amazon of websites and all this stuff. Like, dude, stop making the Amazon. We don't need Amazon.
We
on
just
websites.
want just grade cards.
Want your stuff just do what Dr. Beckett was trying to do. Grade cards and tell us why you're grading them, what you're grading them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you have such a strong name in the hobby. Stop hiring outside people. Stop doing focus groups to figure out what the hobby wants. Talk to the hobby.
Yeah.
That's the all the shows.
I think the focus groups were, whatever they've been doing, they're not talking to, like,
the hobby.
They're not showing up to the shows and asking people. They're in the room and they're grading, but they're not asking. They're not asking around.
No. And then they get, these wild ideas, and they put them out, and then it's like, you expected this to go well?
No one ever wanted them to change the B in Beckett.
Yeah.
No one ever wanted them to change
The slab.
the slabs.
Well, I wouldn't mind, but okay. So let's give them some credit. They did get rid of the bubblegum wrapper
Yep. That's
label,
true.
which is fantastic. I think that was a huge necessity. And I don't really mind the slabs, to be honest. I'm a picky plastic guy,
Yeah.
but like they're not my favorite. But what they changed them to, quote unquote, change them to, and we know more about that than we'll lead on.
Yeah.
Was definitely not a design of somebody who knows
what he's doing.
Knows what he's doing. So, and for them just to do that's what just upsets people, like in the hobby.
We just want to go great cards.
Yeah, just be Beckett.
You just be Beckett. Just be Beckett. I grew up. I still have my number 1 Jordan issue Beckett.
Yep.
I still have it. You know what's else wild? I have seen Beckett magazines in CSG holders or CGC.
Yeah. Beckett doesn't even grade their
How
own
are
magazine.
you not grading your own
Yeah.
magazine?
Yep.
It's not.
You know why? Because they would put it in a slab that was 6 feet tall.
Yeah, you'd have to check it in. You'd have
Yep.
to check it at the
Yeah.
airport. It's wild.
Yeah, not even Dan can make a stand for that.
Stand
Shout
Dan.
out. Yeah. Well, it's great to be back. Let's
Yes,
get
sir.
back to the Dallas Card Show. Guys, be sure to check us out.
Slab business.
Is your one-stop shop for all things epic.